Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines here in Foolstown. Guys, last episode we built our very own poor neighborhood. Now, it's technically not a poor neighborhood because how the game's currently working right now, everyone's fully educated, those buildings are fully upgraded. But in our minds, we're going to treat it as the poor neighborhood because it's the nearest area or residential area to the docks, the export area, the dirty industrial section. So we're going to pretend that it kind of is. Today I want to try and add a few more stuff to that area. I want to add in some of the unique factories as well to kind of build up the workforce, because that's what the area is solely for, is the hard-working, ordinary folk of the city. So we're going to try and do some expansion. So a lot of people are commenting, and a few people told me on Twitter as well, to add some commercial to that new area, which I was going to kind of do already. But it just shows you guys, you know how this is going. You guys have got the ideas. I like where your head's at, everybody. So we're going to add some commercial to some of the little areas too, to kind of bulk it up a bit. But it looks pretty cool. So this is what we created last episode as well. I thought I figured out the whole plane situation for the longest time, but I kind of can't do it. He is confused. It is a new asset. Is this a new asset? I don't know whether it's new assets. It's Taxian. I've kind of figured it out slightly. It's a whole angle of it being they're not able to land at the airport. I did kind of change it up a bit where this was solely used as a takeoff and this is the landing runway. How I designated the taxiways to it. It solved a lot of them, but some of them it's making them still confused. I feel like I might have to change it slightly. It depends on how it all falls down to, but we'll see how it goes. Worst case scenario, I might have to edit the runways, but we'll come back to that to a later time. So, this area, it's glorious, it's beautiful, it's built up our population, we're over 400,000, and today I want to expand it. Slightly-ish. I want to try and get some more of this factories down, because we've got the car plant over here. There's a lot that we don't have, and I want to use this workforce, all these people over here to kind of, work in it. So I think first then we're going to add in some commercial. Now, there's lots of areas and spots. A lot of you said to kind of intertwine it around, which I probably am going to do. But it'll be also nice to have little spots like this that have a little bit of commercial in as well. So we kind of create that commercial front there. Do kind of the same over here. Not go too crazy with it, because obviously, of course, some huge traffic backlogs. But we're going to just kind of like dabble and play around with how the commercial sits and lies. So I'll bring that up to there as well. Nice little commercial section there. We'll do one just here as well. Now the reason I'm getting on the big main roads as well is because of traffic. That's the only reason. Bigger roads can handle more vehicles, so we kind of get that down. And then we'll do the same just here as well. So I'll bring that out to there, bring this one down to there. And if I de-zone this little section, a little bit commercial. And the great thing about it as well is because all the paths go to all these little areas, it's perfect for the shopping district. It really is. So I'll just get the final, I think this might be the final one here, I don't know. I'm actually going to take a little look back in just a second of where we currently are in this. So a nice little chunk of commercial there. Yeah, I feel like they're the good spots for a bit of commercial. Anything extra, anything more bulky, they'll have to go and travel. That's the whole point of living here. Now, these planes here have managed to take off and land perfectly fine. That one's taken off well. That one's just landed. That one's taken off. So it's hit and miss. I think it's hit and miss with some planes. I've got to try and figure out the planes that are circling, what angle they're coming from and why they can't land. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to watch the airport for a while, but that's an issue for another time. It works 90% of the time at this point. It's still that 10% I've got to work on. So that's pretty sweet then. So we'll let the commercial build up then, and then we'll see how the traffic falls. But I want to check out some of the unique factories then. That's warehouses. So unique factories, we've only really used 5 of the unique factories. We have stuff like the household plastic factory. Now, the question is, where am I going to be placing these? Because there is a lot of traffic over here already. If I was to fill in this gap with something, it might be like low kind of low density offices, because that fills in the gap of jobs and it doesn't create too much traffic. So I'm thinking we kind of get it up here. It's good connection routes. We got a lot of spacing to play around with, but we gotta like kind of sort this out. And the thing is as well, I want to mess around with warehouses. So maybe I kind of create like a little warehouse district just here. So the warehouses will be used to store all the products for what the factories would use. But again, it's going to come down to traffic issues. That's my only problem right now. So if I built it here. So if I built it there, they'll come over here and they'll just kind of bulk up this. Do you know, actually, I think we could get away with it, to be honest. We might be able to get away with it. It's a cool little spot for warehouses. So let's see. So let's get the gloriousness of the beautiful, what's it called? Industrial 4-lane road. And let's just kind of have it go up to a certain degree. And then kind of we'll put a bend on it. There we go. And then we'll kind of mess around with it ourselves. So we drop that in there. And using the single lane commercial industrial roads, we'll kind of start from this one. I don't know if this one, that's not enough, is it? So if I did like that, I want to see how big these warehouses are that are going to store the goods. So these are, okay, they're really big warehouses. But if I drop one there and then one, ooh, the slope is too steep. Okay, right, let's play around with the gradient, boys. Oh, it actually is really steep, isn't it? I didn't realize how steep that was. Right, let's delete that just for a second. As we try and smooth this as much as possible. Which I don't feel like we're going to get much smoothing on the go. So let's kind of flatten that round there. How would that look? How would that go if I create like a ditch? It could semi-work. Let's actually delete the road and we'll flatten it like this way. So coming off this kind of level. This is actually going to be a pretty cool thing to add in, really, if you think about it. As the highway goes up to the side, I'll push it back a bit more because I'm going a bit too far than I want to go. And can I place in... Oh, do you know what would be kind of cool to place in? The key walls. That'd be kind of dope. If it would work, though. I don't know if it would work on this. So if I went like that... Yeah, this kind of works. Right, you see how far I can get away with this? Alright, so it works to a certain degree. I've just kind of got to let's put a bend on this one. Just kind of got to sort it out slightly. And don't worry about it sticks out too much there because I can use the move it tool to kind of flatten it down. But let's go back to flattening the land. Now we bring the brush size down. I can go right up to the key wall. See? Not just good for water. Turns out we can create... So this is what you normally... It's like this used to be a quarry, if you think about it. And then they reinforced the walls so they could build stuff on this. That's like, you can have like a slight backstory to why it's like this. Alright, try our best here to sort this out. I mean, this is not unusual. You do see things like this. I mean, not like it used to be a quarry, but like how they flatten land out and then they reinforce the walls around it. So let's drop this down. Can I drag it a bit more? Oh, there we go. That actually fits in quite nice. I might concrete the whole thing around. And then just kind of bring that over and down. Yeah, glorious. Right, should I concrete the whole thing around it? Let's see what it will look like. Right, if I did... You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it. A little bit of painting, guys. A little bit of painting. Look at this. Glorious. So it really sets the tone for this area. And again, all it's really going to do... Do you know what? Now the more I look at it, I don't like this bend. All this is really going to do is... Alright, how can I sort this out? Right, push that back a bit. Alright, that's become very high. So yeah, all this is going to do, right, is just kind of like, you know, be set up for the warehouses to store their goods. Store the goods for the factories to use it. So like if a factory needed oil and plastics, we can have warehouses close by that store the products. So we haven't got to wait for a truck to go from the oil industry all the way over to the factory on this side. We've got a local supplier nearby. That's kind of what we want to have it set up to be doing. I mean, we do have some warehouses down by the dock area already that we haven't really utilized, and we'll kind of do the same. Well, we added some stuff for those as well. But let's just kind of get this area painted down to there. Right, it's got some trees on here we kind of want to have to get rid of, won't we? Yeah. Right, let me quickly get rid of these trees. That's the wrong one. Trees disappearo. That's a spell from Harry Potter, if you didn't know. I also just made that up. Don't listen to me. Right, okay, so that's now in there. Let's smoothen the land. Just here. Glorious. Right, let's get back to what we were doing. So, where's that industrial road? There it is. So, yeah, again, let's just bring this up to about there. And then we'll actually just bend this round. Like that. So, coming off it then, we'll have that road there, which should be the perfect size, yep, for a factory there. The perfect size for a factory there. Great, mate. And then, if it's possible, to do a road just here. Can I squeeze in a large enough factory there? And one just there. Right, that does touch. Alright, bring that in and up slightly. There we go. Oh, this is glorious. I like it. So we've got the 4 big factories there. Now, of course, we can't have big factories everywhere in this area. So what we'll do is we'll pull it out to the side there. That can go up. That goes up there. And we'll get off the snap in here. As that runs down the back of there behind. And then this slightly comes up there. So you can play around with different sizes now. So these are still fairly big, but we can squeeze 2 in there. The smaller ones are great for this. And we have like really small ones. It's like a little loading yard. That is. So try and get these big ones down again. Let's try and get 2 there. And then these nice little smaller ones squeeze in beautifully. All good. So we've just got to... I'm going to concrete all this as well inside. Just got to add the water in. Electricity, they don't have it. They don't have it just yet. So let's just create simplistic connection over. And they're going to start, well, they're going to store the big things. So we'll have petroleum in one. In the big ones. We'll have plastics in the other. So this is stuff I know is going to be used a lot. Metals in one. And I think glass in the other. So that's the 4 big ones at the bottom. Then the smaller ones over here, we can have 2 for planned timber. We'll have 2 for paper. These smaller ones can do animal products over here. Animal products. Animal products. This can do some flour. Some flour. And then these 2 here, we haven't chose yet unique factory products, but I don't want to do that. We'll do some like farming products in these 2, because farming products kind of then slightly means crops, if that makes sense, that we can get over. And that's another thing that we need in some of it. So stores some good stuff. I don't know what the traffic's going to be like now over here. We got some traffic build up just here. There's a lot of issues as people want to come. A lot of the issues is like they come into here and they want to get into this side. So they go round like that. There might be a better system to do for that. I don't know. Okay, so let's just concrete all this over. I've gone too far. There we go. So concrete all this down. I'm gonna have to get rid of the trees as well. Say goodbye, trees. Goodbye, it was nice to know you. Oh, I've missed a little bit of painting as well in some gaps. I did not spot that. I think the trees were hiding it. Let's just blame the trees for that one. Right. No, oh, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. Boom. Boom. Right, good, glorious, good. So they're already bringing products over, which is cool to see. So let's just get rid of the traffic light system there, and there. Let them free flow in. Now this is going to be interesting on the traffic flow. I've got to sort something out just over here because this is kind of like a nuisance. So it's the majority of them coming down to go down to here to turn into there, but obviously it can cause issues with the vehicles coming in here. So I need like a better bypass, don't I? I have this bypass system to go straight over, which some of them use. A lot of them are just turning around. So what if I did connect these in the middle? I'm going to try it just to see what happens. So if I connected you there and you there, it connects these 3 areas, these 3 zones up. I would like to know what happens in the long run. Could that... I mean, it might bring the traffic into the middle of the zoned areas, but there's nothing really going on now as it is. So it's gonna be interesting to see, just technically see what happens. Okay, so the factories are up and running. They'll be getting their goods. I kind of like it. I do like that kind of ditching. It kind of zones that area off. There's another plane now circling. Which, are you confused? Flying to over here. Yeah, we'll just kind of get rid of it. Some planes land, some planes don't. It's just, it's just weird. Right, we'll see how this now transforms. We'll give it a while to kind of like let the traffic settle. Okay, right, so this is how it is. Vehicles, trucks and lorries coming in. I don't want to add anything additional to this area, but I can work it now with the factories, the unique factories. which I may have just had an idea. Because if I place some of the factories on this side up here, or do I place them down here? This is the tough one. Because if I had a split road just kind of going down into there and then cut into there. Right, bear with me a second. I want to try something. I was going to place them over here, but I kind of had another idea. If I create this road here, because it's already a connection there, and then this road there coming out, and we're going to want to have it connected. We'll run this through the middle to there. So let's use our little bendy tool. Is it not going to decide when it wants to connect? We'll do it ourselves then. Like that. So something like that. So it might, this also might now, we've got a lot of lorries coming in here for the storage. This might also make people skip this whole connection, which could be good. It could be good. Right, we need to solve something here, don't we? Because we're going to have a lot of build up in traffic here. So it's pretty much a lot of vehicles wanting to go that way. So what if I created it as a one-way route? Like this then eventually just kind of connected out there. So that was a whole one-way system that went round. That would cause a lot of traffic to come down there and then stop them from turning left. So what I then do to solve that, which is, we've done like it over before here, like little overpasses. And I live near an industrial area, believe it or not, that has overpass systems like this in their industrial area. So it's not like it doesn't exist. It actually really does. And it really works because it goes over like a major crossroad. And it solves a lot of traffic issues in that area. What has happened there? Right. So I've got to try and bend this around now, haven't I? Right, it does connect over, but let's wiggle it around. Alright, let's push that out a bit so it's more of a natural curve. And then what we're going to say is, you can't do a left turn here, you have to go over the overpass, if that makes sense. So that is literally straight, or straight and turn. And this is either that turn or that turn. So you've got to go over that loop, or over that if you want to get into there, which should make the traffic free flow. We're going to say that this is only a turn. That is straight on and that way. And we'll also do the junction restrictions to no crossing at any point. Allow them to back up. No crossing. Allow them to back up. To keep everything flowing. We'll also say that this goes into 2 lanes to keep them flowing even more. This right lane is that turn only, and then that dips down into 2. Or I do it like this. To keep the lanes flowing more. Gets rid of the traffic because they'll merge and split into two. And if I tell them to do it a lot earlier, they've already like designated their lane out before they even approach this junction. So that should make them flow smoother. What happens after that point doesn't really matter, does it? Do you know what I will make that be able to go straight over? But we'll make it go like that. And then that turns there. So we created that loop, which is pretty solid right now. Which has got rid of the traffic as it continues to come in and turn around. If it gets too much, I might create an off-ramp there that connects up. But we'll see how it plays. It's all about how it's going to work out. So there's not a lot of traffic now using this road, which is good. I mean, you get the odd traffic that does use it. We've seen a lot of traffic now pull into this as they're using this as a cut road to get through, are they? Is that what they're doing? Where are they going? Or are they heading for this ramp down there? Why don't I connect? Is there a slope on that? Oh yeah, there is. Right, why don't I make a road? Let's go for that one. So that seems to connect to that, doesn't it? And that's where all the traffic's coming from and going. Interesting. And is that where everyone's heading over here? I'm just trying to figure out where they're going. Let's kind of find out. They're different goods to the company. Okay, that makes no sense. Where are they now? So where are they heading? Oh, they're using this to go up and round. What about you? You're going down to there. And you? We're going to there. And you? Going to there. So they're now using this road to get into this area when before they were coming down and round and driving down. Which makes sense. Makes sense. But it just moves the problem from here to now here. Which is not great. So if I deleted that road there, so these two areas are still hooked up and linked anyway, but removing the connection there. We'll see what happens then. It'll probably bring it back up to here. Unless I created this road to cut through, like butter. Yes, right. We're going to do some major changes now at this point. Alright. This is all going. That is going to go as well. I'm afraid. He's also created that underneath, which we'll put a new one in. So this road cuts straight through and down, which should be good. Right. So now then, we had this area here, which was connected up to there somehow. I don't want to connect anything to this road. So that can now be a product of that area. and that area. So it's kind of connected all up there. Right, now this is the thing. I don't want to zone anything on that. Let's sort this road over here out. So that's got no connection now whatsoever. So if I go straight up there. And that bends round there. So that's all the connection for that. And straight up. Right, I'll let it play. Just to kind of get rid of the buildings that we no longer need. So these two areas are connected. This area is connected there. These two areas are connected together. People who are coming around here to get down into there might now take this route down and round and in. So we could then do that and that as a connection. And we'll see how that turns out. But ultimately, I want to make sure there's no... It's probably best to do paintbrush. There we go. We can kind of see where it's falling. No factories on... What are they? On this road. Because that's what slows everybody down at that point. Alright, let's bring this road out a bit more. Wrong button! I don't know. Do you know what? Let's just stick it down. The factories. And it falls where it falls. So yeah, we're going to get a bulk of traffic happening here. Which will turn that off. So now we got to wait for the traffic to sort itself out. It's going to be a lot of maneuvering they've got to do. And we'll probably come back to it a little bit later. But that's got two little routes there that kind of go underground and connect up. And we need something similar over here as well. So where could we have it? We can actually have it on this road. If I get rid of that. Because if I can get them underground connected to... this, then that's perfect because they can just get onto the highway and get out of here so easy. It's exactly what we need, isn't it? It's a nice little escape road there. The more that uses underground tunnels to get out and connect to the highway, the less that kind of then get around all the other roads. So again, we just got to give it some time to allow the traffic to redirect itself and sort itself out to where it needs to go, and then we'll see where the traffic then falls. This area seems to be working pretty sweet, pretty well. No major traffic issues I'm seeing at the moment. They're all getting filled up. So should we now place down some factories? That's what we're trying to do, right, isn't it? Right, factories then. Here we go. So we'll start with, we've got a household plastic which needs petroleum and plastic, and it's not a big one, so we could squeeze it in just here. Now this is the thing, do I create little side roads coming up? So if I could create just a road that come down there and come up there. And then with that said, create a small little back road just there. Let's try and get a bend on this. Like that. We can place like a factory there to keep it off the main track. So, what's looking good? I'm looking at sizes to begin with. So that's a huge one. Okay, so we've got some smaller ones here. We've got printing presses. We've got toy factories. We've got household plastic. Okay, so if I bring this road up as well, let's create that connection there. Should be able to squeeze a couple in now here. So one just there, which that was our household plastic factory. We've got our toy factory, which is a little bit bigger. Or I could squeeze in just here. What's this one? This is our printing press. So squeeze that factory in just there. So two nice little factories thrown into this area. So this one requires plastic and paper, which is again going to come directly from over here. So nice little good resource area. Petroleum and plastic. So plastics is the big one for these two factories. And then what can we squeeze in over here then? So we have the toy factory, which is not that big. And I could just place it like on the edge, like there. So that's the one thing I need to make sure, that they're not using this as a major through road, because there's going to be a lot of traffic just stopping and starting to get the products to the places. I'm looking at traffic issues now. I feel like there's not that much build-up of traffic now. There's a little bit just there as they try and all turn in. That is obviously a major cut-through road. But with a little lane management in the future, well soon, we could sort that out. But I feel like that big cut-through road there has really solved a lot of traffic flow problems. And obviously having that just go underneath as well. That's pretty cool. So yeah, got a couple of factories just there then. The lemonade factory is a really big one. It's a really big factory, so we kind of have to sort something out to get it up and running. Electronics factory is big. What's this one? This is a clothing factory. It's a little bit smaller. Petroleum refinery is huge. Soft paper factory. So is there anything smaller? Do you know what we're going to do? Because they're looking really quite big now. Let's move this over here. Just to kind of get it off that major road there. And let's sort this road out over here. So some of those factories are quite big, aren't they? So if I brought this straight up, that's a nice, probably get maybe one or two depending on how wide they are. So I drop that. Let's see, anything skinnier? Yeah, if I place that there, and then this next door to it. Oh, they dip down quite big. I don't like that. Oh, I didn't realize the dip. Alright, get rid of that. Oh my, yeah, I didn't realize how much of a dip that was. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not a fan of that huge wave. I could sort that out with some flattening, and obviously it might create that going around it to a certain degree. Let's just pause quickly. Let's just, well, let's first just smoothen it. See how far away we can get with it. So smoothing doesn't do too much. Yeah, it's quite a big dip, isn't it? So maybe I don't place those larger factories just on that side. I mean, I could do something around here. But that is also quite large and wide. But if I kept the same kind of momentum going, like how we've got those bending round. And then what we'll do then is we'll flatten it out, but it creates the lip on that side. Oh, I don't know how to play this one out. Bring the brush size down. Let's take it from here. And then let's see how it plays out, guys. So bring that down. It's quite large. And it might be now that we don't get as many factories in this area. With how I play it out. It's a unique thing, isn't it? Overlooks everything. It's quite cool. But I've got to really be careful how I play this out. Right. So let's get these keys in there. And if we started from here, let's take the snapping off as well. To there. Right. This is going to be very interesting. I'm going to tell you this right now. Very interesting. So, let's just snap away at it. I'm going to have to, like, smoothen this slightly. Might be that I have to paint this as well. And let's just smoothen this one so I don't have to put a key down for it. Alright, it's a bit more natural. I'm not too sure about this. How the earth is like that. But then again, there was a mound there, they reinforced it just to get the factories on top. Could still work. But I'm going to have to like do a road, like the road come up across there to get them both in, if it's possible to squeeze them in. So I might just push that one back a bit. Let's bring that into the ground. Slightly. I can put it back into play mode now because I'm not really messing around with anything. And let's see if I can get away with this then. So if this road came out, because basically I want to create a semi-straight road there. And see if we can get 2 factories going down. That would be glorious if I can. So I can get one big one there. So can I squeeze 2 smaller versions? So that's a smaller version. Okay, that's the wrong... Oh, yes. What's that? That is a modular house factory. I could have got that on its own. It's big enough on its own. It's like an IKEA, isn't it? Almost. Right, let's push that back by a bit. Yes. Right. It's a very big building. Let's bring that down. We'll concrete the flooring. And that's actually quite cool. It adds something to this area, doesn't it? I really like this with all the factories. So they're still waiting for resources to get given to them. Like, you know, oh, they complain about water. Okay. Needs a little bit of petroleum and stuff like that. What's the water situation over here like? Non-existent. Right, there we go. Hasn't quite got power, but I'll give the power in just a second. So what could I squeeze in down here then? If I created a cut there. And that road like that. So where's the traffic now then? Traffic's all building up here. So see where that happens over time. I could turn traffic lights off. Let them free flow and then see where the chips fall. Okay, right. What can I get now for more warehouses? So those smaller ones will be pretty handy. We get something in just there, but the slope is too steep, so maybe something a little bit smaller. These are way too big. Was that the big one? That was the big one. Where was the smaller one? Right, this is a fairly small one. That could be squeezed in just here. And what was this? This was a clothing factory. Nice. Well, that does the same kind of thing as well. Kind of like the level of it is not perfect. What we got here? We got a sneaker factory. Pretty much just the same on the opposite side. I could not get any more factories in over here and just do like office blocks. And then the other factories could be like elsewhere in different places. That's another method I could go with. What's this here? This is a food factory. So how does that fall in? Yeah, okay. I think that'll be the last one we throw in them. And everything else can be filled up with offices. So I can now place down a few extra roads to kind of fill up this area with offices. Which should be fairly good. Right, looks good to me. The free flowing traffic is moving. Again, we just got to understand where they're trying to get to. So, understanding where they're trying to get to is over there. They're going down there. In here. So this is where we have to kind of decide then about inlet routes and outlet routes. So is this going to be in and out? Is this going to be like a one-way system kind of road? And I think the key is to make them in routes. So in there. In there. So in and in. So that will make the traffic free flow, because then the outlet routes are somewhere else. And they could be, obviously, leading out that way. So we might see the traffic now move a bit smoother. Give it time to adjust anyway. Let's get the offices in this area then. So nice offices. Now, see, this would then give them the power that they are now kind of missing. And also more jobs. Also more jobs. Which we can't have enough jobs. Because everybody needs somewhere to work, don't they, guys? Don't they? Right, let's squeeze all this in. Oh, not there. Okay, that's all good for me. Get a little bit just in here. And we'll call it a day just for that area. So that's kind of solved the traffic there, but you just don't... Oh, yeah, and then it builds up over here pretty much. As they go in different routes and stuff like that. But again, let's just see where it falls. See where it falls. That's the only thing we can do. Right, okay. Okay. So a lot of them just want to use or get into these areas to go down the little slip roads that kind of lead out into a destination. So would I then connect little underground routes to the highway? That would be interesting. Well, we'll see how it goes. Right, let's turn traffic lights off just there, so again it just continues to flow beautifully. And it looks okay to a certain degree. We'll just see how it all continues to go. I want to concrete this area quickly. Might as well just bring it down to here. Filling all these little gaps, all these little nooks and crannies with the concrete. Yeah, I'm well aware that some of it contains trees. We'll just kind of do this one side with concrete. It really defines it then as the industrial area. So do it leading up to the highway. There we go. Just going to get rid of the trees on it now. Which is a sad thing to do, but obviously it's not natural. I can't get rid of the trees that are a part of some of the buildings, like the factory stuff. That's the kind of feel I want to go for in this area there. Wow, it looks really good. I like how we've done it with the keys. Some of it looks a bit funky. I'm gonna kind of got to sort that out slightly, so it's a more natural dip. But it looks good. It's like it digs into there with the storage, and then a couple of factories here and there around. So they should now also make us quite a bit of decent money. Like for example, this now made us 10,000 in production value once all the goods were in. This still waiting for a bit of flour to come in. Should eventually make us some sweet money. We had this one down here, waiting for paper and plastics, petroleum and plastics. Which, these have got the goods, they just need the trucks to get over the road into this area to service them. Well, not service them, like deliver the goods in a sense. Which it would do over time. It will eventually get there. It will eventually get there. But this area is looking pretty sweet. Pretty nice. So, I think we've solved traffic to a certain degree around here. It flows a little bit more smoothly. It's not as bad. Got a little backlog there, but that's as they're trying to merge in. We'll kind of set up some lane management with that, but it's not a lot there. Not a lot to worry about. It's just the initial traffic moving in. But it looks pretty good. Guys, I think I'm going to end it for here then. So a nice little solid little area for the industrial section. It's all coming together pretty smoothly. We're losing a few peeps, but it's not a huge issue because I think we're going for like a little bit of a garbage wave at the moment. But guys, until next time, I'll see you all soon. So good. Bye.